So let's get into that. Like, how did you get sick? What happened?
Yeah, so and I think it happened before the tick bite. I had some problems before the tick bite, which actually got you to bring me into FIC. So if that hadn't happened, I ended up with a hysterectomy when I was 36. I was very poorly. Forced me out of training as a nurse and into FIC. So that kind of got used to get me where I needed to go. So I was going in the wrong direction. But I was working with Freedom in Christ. I'd done Disciple. I wasn't 100% well. Obviously, if anyone watches it, I was sitting, all the other presenters were standing. So I wasn't quite right, but I was all right. But it was after we'd finished Disciple and I was doing a lot of teaching around the UK, helping the church look at young adults. Why do they reject church? Why do they struggle? And I was on the road a lot out teaching. So I was in a really full pelt, flat out ministry, absolutely loving myself. And then one day I was walking my dog and there was a homeless guy who was sleeping in rough fields. And the homeless situation really wrecks me. So I have to go and check them, so I kind of wandered over to check him. I was standing in the long grass, talking to him, chatting to him, didn't think anything of it, kind of walked home. Next day I found this little tiny black dot on my ankle. I thought, I must have stood on like a rose bush or something. It was absolutely tiny. But then the next day it came up with a bullseye. It started coming up with a rash and I realised that it was a tick and I'd been bitten by a tick. Still didn't really take it very seriously. I removed the tick. I went down to our local accidental emergency, got some antibiotics, prayed over it, but everything's fine. Everything's fine. And I was due to go and speak at the next event, and it was the day before, and a colleague messaged me and he said, Jess, Lyme's disease, you should slow down a little while. Just slow down, just stop, just think about getting somebody else to this event. And I was like, I don't think anyone else can step up, I'll be fine. And I was teaching that event, and I remember I couldn't stop drinking water. Like they were filling up the speaker's water, and I was drinking pints and pints and pints and pints and pints, and I just felt so ill. And when I finished, it felt like somebody took the floor and pulled it from underneath me, and the room folded in on me. And I didn't physically collapse, but I basically collapsed. And Rob, who's my boss in the UK, had to put me in the car and drive me, I think, hundreds of miles out of his way to get me home. And I was in bed for 6 months.